Hello?
Papi. He just hung up.
Gotta call him back. Love the sound of a dial.
Mm-hmm.
This is old school right here.
Yeah.
I can't hear it anymore, but there is dialing.
We just two numbers.
Well, these are never orchestrated. These are always live. You never know what I'm always a little scared of these because I never know what my father's going to actually say because he doesn't know.
Hello?
Baba.
Danny, ¿cómo está?
What happened?
How are you?
What happened to the Heat, Papi?
Oh, the Heat, man, I got a headache. That first quarter, how many points Boston
50.
scored? About
50,
85?
not 85,
Huh?
50.
I don't know, man. Are you sure about that?
It was 50.
Everything was falling for them. Everything was falling for them. They make all threes. How many threes they make during the game?
That one Hauser guy
threes
made 45 threes in the first quarter. It was crazy.
Oh, my God, dude. I tell you one thing. I was surprised. And Hero, he just disappeared. I'm going to call him Houdini. He's a Houdini guy. He's a Houdini guy. He's tough against the shitty teams. Only against the big teams, the good teams, he disappears.
So what kind of magic act is that? Tough against the shitty teams, but then he disappears
Yeah,
against the good
tough.
ones?
I bet he's going to score about 80 points against the Wizards. You watch Saturday. The guy's going to roar like a big star, and then when it comes around the Celtics, he just shrinks. You know, he runs away. How many points he got last night? 12 points, 15 points, something like that.
18 points.
Yeah, that's for a $30 million a year guy. That's a very expensive points, you know.
Who else you mad
What
at?
can I tell you? Huh?
Who else are you mad at?
No, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm just waiting for them to finish in 10th place, just clinch a little spot in the playoff, and then make a big run for the Big Ten. That's what I'm predicting. What can I tell you? How about you? What are you predicting? Do you think that they can beat the Celtics? You think that they can beat the Pistons? You think that they can
Bobby,
beat
the
Milwaukee?
season's over. The season's over. They started 14-8. They fooled some people with their offense, and they've been 500 since. They can't beat anybody good. They haven't been playing defense for a month.
Well, what do you mean? They got Hero. They got a Bam. They got the best coach in the NBA. What do you mean? They can't play? The season is over. You are not down until you're out. Who said that? Who said that? Who was the philosopher who said that?
Yogi Berra.
There you have it. That's my man, Yogi. He was a big guy. Yeah, I mean, the first quarter last night, that was painful to watch. I had to go to the bathroom about the first 3 times in the first quarter.
Isn't that just because you're old?
I don't know what happened to my system. I got too excited last night, you know. So,
Excited
but
about
I tell
what?
you
The
one
Celtics
thing.
scoring 50 points in the first quarter. Excited about what? The Heat chasing them 20 points down the whole game?
Well, all I can tell you is that the Godfather got big plans. They got big plans for the Heat this year, next year, and the years ahead. You know, you got to believe in the Godfather. He's going to roll those dice over the table, and he tried to get Durant. Is Durant available by any chance? You know?
Durant?
Yeah. He looked good. I mean, he looks like a.
All right, Dad, I can't talk to you anymore. These are the ramblings of an old man. I can't talk to you anymore.
Why not? He's about my age, and he's playing basketball. What can I tell you? You know what I mean?
Goodbye, Dad.
But I got big plans for the Heat.
Goodbye, Dad. What are your big plans for the Heat, Dad? Go ahead. End it with
Well,
one shitty joke
next
because you
year,
know we're
well,
calling you. You know you're on air and now you're performing a shitty dance, and it's better when you don't know we're calling.
But I didn't know you were calling. What do you mean I'm on air? What do you mean air? What air? What air?
All
Hot
right.
air balloon?
Shitty actor.
I
Get
tell
him
you
out of
one
here.
thing.
Get him out of here. Purdue was a number 1 seed as
Kirk Cousins look like J.C. Penney.
Looks like it's back, Jack. It's bracket time, so make a chart. Does Jeff Van Gundy look just like the Queen of Hearts? Does Adam Silver look like a torpedo bat? Let's get March Sadness back on track. Looks like it's back, Jack. when the donuts are in front of you. Does Andy Reid say, don't mind if I do? Adam Silver looks like a Q-tip thing, or frying a bag of onion rings. When Timmy laughs until he hacks, that's how you know that looks like his back, Jack. Let me hear you say, looks like his back, Jack. Let's keep on doing it every year. So Ed Burke says, Mr. Bond, welcome to Tangier. Jeff Fisher looks like shotgunning beers at a NASCAR track. If you say this game's the best, I'll say the gag. Looks like his back, Jack.
Northwestern is gone from the tournament.
Jim Harbaugh looks like a casket salesman.
Fairleigh Dickinson, 16 seed, rep by
Mike McDaniel looked like a college student on a full ride scholarship for esports.
What a run.
Looks like his back, Jack.
I think it would be fair for me today to preach a trilogy on the Miami Heat season after what you just saw happen last night. And I don't know how much objection I would get from Amin in the way of overreaction for what the last 10 games of Heat basketball has brought us against good teams where they just get dragged. 50 points in a first quarter is crazy.
How is Jason Tatum going to reintegrate with these Celtics? Who knows?
It's going to be because Sam Hauser is going to make 5 threes in the first quarter.
Got a triple-double. I mean, I don't think Sam Hauser had a lot to do with it.
Are we about done with the Heat talk?
Well,
it's baseball season, Dan.
I want to get to the Heat, and I want to get to baseball because the Marlins are 5-1, and they have an ace, a legitimate ace, who can carry a team and get you excited if they get all bargains on all their discount coupon Tampa Bay Rays guys. Like if all these young guys, if they go 7 for 9 on the young cheap guys, and it's like, oh, those are 7 amazing players.
Have you ever seen a discount bin at the dollar store? That's kind of what's going on, right? You walk around, you're like, oh, this is even discounted more.
But this is a crazy roster construction, okay? At the top of the hill, you got the ace. He blew out his arm, but when he's on, holy shit, he's Scooble from the right side. Is he back? Complete game? Really, Sandy? Welcome back. You were the best in the league for a minute. And then you got hurt, and that's the only guy they're paying.
I didn't even know they did complete games anymore. I thought that was outlawed in baseball.
He didn't either, but he makes it look easy, right? This is an unhittable person when he's at his best. He won a Cy Young. When everyone's throwing 100 miles an hour, that guy goes out there and throws 98 all over the place and nobody can hit him. And so if he's back, he wasn't last year. He was bad last year because he was hurt and rehabbing and then had up and down. But that's who he was when he won the Cy Young, what we just saw yesterday. And he'll do that to the White Sox, but he'll do that to the Yankees too. Like that, he can do that to anybody. And so you've got an ace in the middle of your city now. And the Marlins try to build themselves back up. And I think they got Mike on the way home. He was wearing a Marlins jersey yesterday, and we did not comment on it. And then he stopped in for a 2-hour game yesterday on the ride home and had the ballpark to himself.
Yeah, I wanted to give baseball a try. I tried it a couple of years ago, and I still had some issues with the game, so it didn't quite get its hooks in me. I saw the postseason last year. I understand it was good, and the World Series was great. And I wanted to jump in, give these Marlins a try especially. And I had a really decent time at the game. I saw a brilliant pitcher on the mound. I saw one good baseball team, I think. And yeah, I went in that game, strolled in at it was a 110 first pitch. I strolled in at 105. Obviously, didn't hit a lot of traffic along the way. I didn't miss any of the game. But I got right in. I saw an ace deal, and I was in my car at 3:28. And I'm like, damn, Rob Manfred, of all people, fixed it. There's a lot of momentum behind the sport, the riding the hot wave of the WBC, and I don't really have a leg to stand on as far as my complaints. Some small ball is back to a degree. The game is moving very quickly, which I really like. It doesn't afford me the opportunity to get in my phone and just zone out, which I like. and I was thinking about it, and I don't want to take this to a negative place at all, but I was driving home. I was like, of all people, the commissioner, the much maligned, this is how I drive, by the way.
Yeah.
I drive with 2 hands, and I'm just swerving all over the place.
3 and 6.
Yeah.
Thinking about the commissioner, thinking about which commissioner. You think about commissioners on the way home.
On the way home,
you think of ways to fix sports on your drive home.
Yeah. Well, I was like, man, I had a good time. I was drinking beers. I was with the boys. I saw my team win. I was in and out. And now I know there's not going to be a complete game shutout all the time. And that had a lot to do with the pace of the game. Sandy works quick, too.
You got to be careful. A couple of beers that work too quick, and then all of a sudden.
Responsibly. Don't do that to me. As you know, I'm driving like this just because I drive like this, not because of the beers. And I was like, Rob Manfred, of all people, fixed this sport. And it made me think, like, man, Adam Silver does have his work cut out for him, because, like, if baseball can fix, like, the nauseating talking points that we went seemingly for a decade on, we're kind of getting to that point with the NBA where we've been talking about, like, what's wrong with the game for about a decade. If Rob Manfred can do it, certainly Adam Silver can.
What do you think of the in-game host?
A little grating.
Handsome, though, right?
To be clear, you're going to get more Jeremy with the show today, because he and Samson are going to geek out on baseball things. Samson's really good on baseball, and he might have some opinions on their announced attendance of 6,000 when he comes on with us, because he was always trying to fake those numbers and fool around with those numbers. But the thing that Mike says that to me is most interesting about this is that sport was so reticent to change. Like they had a chance one time when movies were trying to advertise in creative places. They could have put Spider-Man on the bases, and they were like, absolutely not. We can't do that in baseball. It's all pristine. They cleaned everything up. They sped up the game. They listened. They made these drastic changes. They're putting a runner on second base in order to feed. They've always been ahead on new media, right? Like their channel and their network has always been better at this stuff than the other ones, smarter at how it is that they sell it to smarter fans, because baseball fans are the smartest, because they know how to do the measurements. And David and Jeremy are going to talk about all this in Pitch Clock, but David was always lying about these numbers at the Marlins games. And what Sandy is saying when he comes off the mound, and I really do, I want South Florida to sort of embrace the excellence in this, because of how rare it has been in the history of this baseball franchise that is in a city that cares about baseball, as you saw during the World Baseball Classic. South Florida has rarely had ever a man of this kind of excellence at the center of its team. If this person is the Cy Young winner on a team from 2 years ago, the best in the sport at pitching, when the Yankees have started the season, the Yankees just started the season with the best starts ever from their starting pitchers, ever for the sport of baseball. No one has ever started faster, better than the Yankees starting pitchers. The Marlins have a horse at the top of their rotation that everybody would want, and he's telling people to come out to the park and genuflect at his excellence. This interview is awkward. It's in his second language. Listen to him after throwing the first complete game in a while to tell everybody, yeah, I'm back. Look, I'm back.
Sandy, your 13th career complete game. What makes this one a little different?
A lot of different, so it's been a long time without throwing a complete game. But this one is special for me. All my family here. Fans is not here, but we still love them, because we know this is a hard sport, and they know what sometimes they gotta do something. They work the house. But yeah, today was great for me.
I don't know what happened at the end there to him, except that he was like,
Se trabó un poquito.
He thought that he's like, the fans have to work, so I guess they've got things to do. That interview's awkward in his second language.
Is that that guy looks like he's in high school who's interviewing him.
That's radio intro host, pregame host,
wow,
Steven Strom.
There? What happened?
Just trying to figure out the specific role.
Title?
Guys, it's been a long week. I have been talking nonstop everywhere.
Well, feel free
and I'm
to
exhausted.
take a break.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good, man. I'll relax. Everybody's excited about Marlins baseball. You guys, please, because it's awesome. Like, what's happening out there is awesome. And Sandy's right. Like, the fans need to show up. The same way we showed up as a fan base for Jose is the way that fans need to show up to watch Sandy.
You say Sandy's right, so that's what you think that's intent. Like, to me, that sounded like he said something and then he's like, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that."
Look, Sandy said it in both of his interviews. He said it with Kelly Sacco in the post-game interview on TV. He said it with Steven Strom on radio. And what he said is like, look, There are 6,000 people here today. Show up. We're a good young team. Come out to the ballpark. Now, I would bet that every team in baseball that plays the White Sox on a Wednesday afternoon at 1 o'clock will have the worst attendance of their season on that day. It just so happened to coincide with Sandy throwing a Maddox. But where he is right is this team deserves to have people show up. This isn't the fluky 5-1 start. Over their last 101 games, it could have been 100 where you tie it, but over the last 101 games, the Marlins have a better record than the Dodgers do. They've been one of the very best teams in baseball over that stretch. They started horribly to start last year, but what they're doing, the guys they're bringing up, the guys they've traded for, Liam Hicks is a Rule 5 pick, Owen Casey, the guy they traded for in the Edward Cabrera trade, they're at the top of the league in RBIs, 1 and 2. And you have an ace right there, and Yuri Perez throwing on Friday, who's a dark horse candidate for Cy Young, according to even Jeff Passan.
The issue is that when you have a getaway day game at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday, like Major League Sports doesn't do that, right? Like you don't have an NBA game that starts at 1 o'clock and everybody's like, all right, well, I got to go see the Kings at 1 o'clock. Like that hamstrings, I think, a lot of attendance and a lot of people getting eyeballs on the game because people are at work, people are at lunch. Like, oh, I'm going to watch the game for 32 seconds before I have to go back to my terrible desk job.
I'll be honest, I was thinking about that yesterday. It's like a Wednesday 1 p.m. game. Who is this for?
Heat Sixers.
Who is this for?
But this is so interesting, all of this. Who's it for is the schedule these people keep traveling all over the globe in a way that's really tiring by the time they get to that wonderful World Series they gave us. The 1 o'clock game used to be part of this sport's charm, that you could go to a day game and watch baseball, and it was something that was quaint and beautiful about the game.
Dan, take me back to the 1950s. Mickey Mantle is running out to the outfield, all this stuff. It's beautiful. The golden age of baseball. Again, Wednesday at 1 o'clock.
It's getaway day. It's so they don't have to arrive at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm just telling you why it is.
I'm not talking about
most of the sport, though. Most of the sport played 1 o'clock games yesterday.
I just want to know the people in attendance wearing their finest suits and ties and hats and a newspaper under their arm and clapping, bravo, bravo, and they're all smoking, chain smoking the whole time.
Man, I should dress like that the next time I go to a getaway day.
Awesome. Chain smoke the whole time. But Wednesday at 1 p.m., the factory just gave you the day off to go take in the Yankees. Go see the boys in the pinstripes.
Look, this is true. I'm not making this up, okay? The history of this historic sport makes it. So, yes, somebody at 1 o'clock would have the honor to go attend the national pastime with a cigarette and a newspaper and a top hat, and the people in attendance were wearing suits. And it was an honor to get off from work and go watch DiMaggio because he happened to be in town.
Dan,
he took the train in.
Dan, do I have your permission to leave Thursday's show early to wear a baggy suit to the Marlins game?
I think
I want to wear a baggy suit, a fedora, and have a newspaper under my elbow as I clap and call people whippersnappers.
If you want to stay really committed to the bit, you also have to yell out some racial slurs at some point.
Yeah, we are going back to the 1950s. Whoa. I did find it curious that Amin wanted to go back to the 1950s. That's not going to work out well for you.
More wanted to just see it from afar. I don't
Amin's right.
The larger point I was hoping to make to a national audience is that in the history of Miami sports, all across them, it is the rarest of rare things. No, we got the best guy there at any position, at any, you can have your discussions because there are Skeens and Scooble and a bunch of other guys, but this guy at his best is as good gets, and Miami has had very few of those in their history across all sports.
Big breaking NFL news. A former Pro Bowl quarterback has signed with the Raiders. It would seem as though Fernando Mendoza has the perfect mentor in Kirk Cousins.
Oh. You like that? You like that, Dan?
I'm talking about sports excellence in our market that has 6,000 fans. As Sandy's like, yeah, the people have to work.
This directly affects one of the biggest local sports stars, a local product, future number 1 overall pick in Fernando Mendoza. How corny is this quarterback room?
A stat for you, Dan, to back up what you're saying. Since 2022, the top list of complete games by team in the major leagues, Number 5 is the Giants at 8, tied with the Red Sox at 8. The Astros have 10. The number 2 team is Sandy Alcantara with 10. And then the Phillies have 11. And he missed an entire year in that stretch.
I'm not going to forget how excellent this person was. When I tell you best in the sport type of good, give me all the ones Miami has had. You can do it on one. Is it 2 hands? Is it 2 hands history of sports in South Florida that you can say, I had the best at that position, or somebody you can make the argument, yeah, you win the Cy Young, you're the best at that position.
You got Dan Marino, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade.
Barkov.
I'll take your word for it.
But it's a totally different class. Like, even Bobrovsky wouldn't rise to there, correct? Like, you're talking about hot goaltender, but when you have the best at the craft, where all the other pitchers and hitters would say, Jesus, I don't have a chance there. Like, if you have not seen this person pitch, okay, and I know everybody's sort of numb to this guy throws 104, this whatever. Everybody's throwing very hard.
Did Kevin Brown win a Cy Young?
Kevin Brown.
Jose,
no.
I think Jose would be in before Kevin Brown.
Well, there's when Sandy asks for attendance in that awkward way, in the history of the Marlins of all kinds, only 2 pitchers have ever spiked attendance at the ballpark. It's Dontrell Willis. It was never Livan Hernandez. It was never Livan. And it was Jose Fernandez. Livan won a championship, but there are only 2 guys, novelties. One guy's a black guy. The other guy is the most Cuban of Cuban guys. Came over, almost drowned in the sea. Those were the only 2 spikes in attendance. This guy deserves that because this guy at his best is better than anybody. He's better than anybody who's ever pitched for this team. I can say that. I can say it flatly.
He has better stuff than Jose.
He won a Cy Young. He was the best in the sport for a year. Jose Fernandez was not that, and I'm guessing if you look at their numbers, that Fernandez's strikeout rate would be better, but not his contact rate.
Right. Sandy, no doubt, is the more accomplished as a Marlin. No doubt. I don't know if, like, high-end, top level, whatever. It's
Sandy's
a sports debate.
Second longest tenured Marlin ever. He's a guy that deserves to be here. He's the only guy on this team that played in those awful orange uniforms and then transitioned to the new era and now gets to pitch on Sundays in teal. He's a stalwart of this franchise, and he does really deserve people to show up the way that it happened for Jose, the way that it happened for D-Train. And the great part about this is we could be going to his next start on Tuesday if we weren't doing our Sports Equinox live stream.
Jeremy wanted to say stalwart. He said stalwart.
I did. Again, long week, man.
Couldn't we just have Mike joining us from our Sports Equinox dressed in a baggy suit at the Marlins game? Or are they on the road? They're on the road?
No, they're the one team that's at home. We could send them.
I'm going to do the getaway day thing. You're going to need me
I'll
for
go
the
to the
Panthers and certainly the Heat analysis as well.
We are looking forward to that. On Tuesday night, we're going to do a live show watching all 3 of the games, Panthers and Marlins and Heat. But I am excited that, so is Sandy going to pitch on Tuesday? I mean, I'm excited about the idea that the nation would be reintroduced after that World Series to – really, the Marlins are going to do it with all these Rays sort of mathematicians. They're going to build a farm system, and they're really going to throw at the sport. Hey, here are 7 cheap guys. I bet I can make them into major leaguers that'll be above league average because they've got plate discipline. I don't think this team's going to hit nearly enough, but on the days this guy pitches, it won't have to. And that's if he's healthy, that's 1 out of 5. And the idea that the Marlins have one of those, the idea that South Florida has one of those, there haven't been many in our history.
They have a lot of things going for them. 2 top pitchers, a pretty solid lineup. I know the early season gauntlet of the White Sox and Rockies might inflate those numbers some, but they have a really good farm system too. They have bats that the franchise is really excited about that they can bring up in the summer and help this team with a run. And also, they haven't spent a lot of money, so you got to think that they have some powder to go out and get somebody at the deadline or something that can push this.
Why is it powder?
You keep your powder dry. It's like ammunition.
It's gunpowder.
Yeah.
I thought it was something else.
I went the same place.
In Miami, powder means something different.
Yeah, you've got some coke to go out and trade for an arm.
Go. That's currency.
Now
buddy.
you're talking.
too soon on Jose Fernandez, given how that ended.
No one went there.
I
but
wasn't
you.
even.
No,
thinking
that
of
was just you.
No one went there, but you. No one was thinking.
Not
that
a play
but
on.
you.
Yeah, no. Red card.
Yeah, you should think about what you did.
Loss of downs.
Yeah.
Punt.
INT, really.
Thrown over.
Interception. Wow.
Pick 6 the other way.
Safety.
No, they scored on it.
They're not good.
It's a
teams.
safety.
And they got the ball back.
Yeah.
Damn, Dan.
All right, transition.
I am buried under Tony's thumb. Tony is taking great delight in giving me the giant thumbs down because I mentioned a little too much truth in the trilogy.
Don't do it again.
No,
Don't
you
do it
didn't
again.
learn from your
Right.
mistake. What are you doing, man?
Guys,
Two thumbs down.
Guys, it's really evident that look, everybody got super charged up and then he went on a run. Like their internal evaluation missed the mark.
On
For the Miami Heat, thinking that
Their
you
internal
saw what
evaluation
they
on?
told Barry Jackson, and he came out with the 10 Commandments, and they really like their team. They think they're going to make a run. I think it's being proven
that's not reality, man.
it's being proven that they missed the mark yet again, thinking that they had enough, thinking that they were good
Enough for what?
enough to make some noise.
No,
I
man.
think that was it.
I don't know. I don't know anything. I haven't talked to anybody. I don't know a thing. But I know those people well enough to know that they looked at that roster at the beginning of the year and they knew, look, we have an opportunity in the coming offseason and the one after that to have some incredible flexibility.
But if that's
We're
the
not going to
case-
sacrifice that this year for an incremental gain.
Why sacrifice it? Why not add to that flexibility? Everybody else that was in the Giannis pursuit that found out that Milwaukee was unserious went on to make a move.
Yeah.
To either help their chances in acquiring Giannis or make themselves better. Atlanta certainly did. Or set themselves up for the future, understanding that it's time to capitulate. We're not good enough, like Chicago. I'm not saying go out and get another star. I'm saying what they did, which was the only team in their conference to not make a move, was very clearly an F- type of move.
You still are stuck in this reality where you think if a move isn't done, that means people say, Miami, here, have this. Like, get that out of my face. I'm not doing any deals. I'm Pat Riley. I like what I have. Mike, the reality is you are inundated with calls for terrible deals of different proportions. Sometimes talent return isn't good enough. Sometimes removes flexibility and basically your ability, your inventory of things to move forward.
I hear you.
It doesn't mean they said no. It means there was not a good deal out there to be done.
Well, they're apparently the only team in the conference that thought that there wasn't a deal to be done, and that's the wrong move. Because you can't tell me.
So you tell me, what was the deal that could have been done?
Add a second rounder. Add something that helps you.
Okay.
In the
What
offseason.
What was the deal where there was a second rounder available?
Dude, I don't know.
That's my point.
Like,
That's my point. You don't know.
I mean,
you're speaking
please,
with so
please,
much certainty.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
No,
Turn it down.
don't do that.
Turn it down.
No, I'm holier than thou.
No.
My point to you is you don't know.
Don't try to alpha me by yelling at me.
No, I'm not trying. I'm trying to alpha you by giving you facts.
No, you're not giving me facts.
I am giving you facts.
You're not giving me
don't
facts.
know.
You're giving me a matter of opinion. You don't know jack shit about the trades that were available to them.
No, I don't know either.
Right.
That's
but
my point.
I do know everybody else made a move.
The point is you don't know what was and wasn't available. That's the point. You speak with such certainty that I can't believe they didn't make a move.
Okay.
You don't know what was available.
All right. Well, I'm pretty certain that they could have traded anybody on their roster for anything that would have helped their cause in the offseason. I think that's pretty irrefutable. And I think you sound like a jackass for challenging that notion.
No,
but
you sound like a jackass for saying I'm pretty certain when you're not certain at all.
You're in luck. You're not the biggest jackass in the zip code because across the street there are bigger jackasses that miss the mark.
It's a jack off.
Yeah.
It is a jack off. We got a jack off.
I can't believe you did that, man. Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm so clearly right on the Miami Heat. Like, this is so stupid.
This is what Mike does. Mike does
is be right about the team.
Mike gerrymanders the basically the environment where the argument is happening. I'm not saying to you, the Miami Heat are great. They didn't need to make a move. What I'm saying to you is you are implying that there was something to be done when we don't know that. That's what I'm saying.
There is always something to be done.
My
It's the NBA. It's talent acquisition. Well,
always
shucks.
something to be done.
We're the only team that didn't do anything. There was nothing to be done.
There was always something.
Can I mend fences on this maybe and find a middle ground, which is I know what Mike wants here, which is specifically it's guys like Norman Powell or Andrew Wiggins. He wishes the Heat would have moved those players. Theoretically, the entire fan base was like, move them for first-round picks. But those things are not available. Mike says, okay, just move them for second-round picks. But would you move those guys for second-round picks if you then have to take on long-term money? Because Andrew Wiggins is going to be a player going into an expiring deal that his value going into next year, if he's on a exercises his player option, is a year at $30 million. Is that more valuable in your pursuit of Giannis, or is a second-round pick more valuable? Is Norman Powell's money coming off the books more, or in a sign-and-trade more valuable to you, or a second-round pick? These are the questions that are out there. You guys each have different opinions on how you go about it, and we don't know what deals might have been
concerned what it means opinion is.
No, I don't. That's my point. I don't have a different opinion. I am merely operating with the reality that I do not have the information available to me to make a call. Mike is saying, hey, they should have done something. Mike, if you told me, hey, they could have traded Andrew Wiggins for 2 firsts, of course I might go ahead and do it. But my point is, you don't know what was offered to them.
I do know that their position is they felt good about their team, and they weighed that opinion about their team against whatever was out there. And also, I don't need to entertain this anymore. I don't.
Then don't. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Don't entertain.
I won't, because I was right.
You're right about what?
Oh, right about them being a nowhere franchise in a bad position.
We knew the roster
wasn't
good
What do you mean no
enough.
shit? When they're sending their PR guys over to Barry Jackson saying they like their hand, explaining to a frustrated fan base, which has a right to be frustrated, why exactly they stood pat at the deadline. Yeah,
so
I feel pretty good about my position. The defense rests.
What do you think their PR department should have done?
I'm not doing this anymore.
No, you
not doing it anymore. Something. Everybody else did something.
The PR department.
Joke franchises did something.
I'm asking you what their PR department. You didn't like what they did. Tell me what they should have. The PR department, not basketball ops.
The PR department did what they're supposed to do and have effectively done in this market for several years, which is
what they're supposed to do. How about
that? Which is get the message out there, hey, this is the right move.
Okay.
Meanwhile, they're in an unenviable position when you compare their position to the rest of the league. Hopefully this offseason, what we've tried for the last 4 years in trying to upgrade the talent level on this roster, hopefully it works out. I would have loved some more additional assets that would have put Miami in an even better spot to do so, because there always seems to be a team that has better assets. And when I look at the lay of the land inside the conference and your competition in acquiring those stars, like even outside of the conference, like Minnesota, they did things to put themselves in better positions. And I don't think there was some jerk off in front of a microphone saying there's no deal to be done. No, I said jerk off.
But it was a jack off. We had a jack off before.
First it's a jerk, now it's a jack.
I don't like you're taking the devil's advocacy argument. Yes, you are. What kind of stance is that? That there is not a deal to be made to improve.
That's not
what kind of stance is that when everyone else in the league makes the move.
Mike,
it is not an argument that is based in reality.
Mike,
that is not sports,
Mike,
and that is certainly not the credibility and foundation that Pat Riley has stood against him when it comes to upgrading this roster. That's not who that guy is. That's not the. You think Pat Riley's the kind of guy that's like, oh, he's not looking at himself in the mirror saying, I'm the kind of guy that can't make a move. That's not who he is.
You're making my point in that they didn't need to make a move. My point is you don't know what was available. You don't know the deals that were on the table. Without that knowledge, it is impossible to sit here with certainty, with your chest puffed out, and say, I don't need to entertain this anymore, and he's a jerk off.
All right.
Dan loves this.
Right. You don't, like, no.
He's enjoying the show.
I let him talk for 30 minutes nonstop. Let me get my fucking 30 seconds.
30 minutes.
Let me get my 30
seconds.
seconds.
Your 30 seconds.
Without knowing what was on the table, you cannot speak with any level of certainty that they messed up by not doing it. You're doing the Family Guy. A boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could be a boat. You don't know what's in the mystery box. You can only operate off of what's available. You can say, hey, if something was available and they didn't do it, of course, again, I'm with you. If there were options to move some of these guys for real asset, for real return on value, of course. But, Mike, that doesn't seem to be the case. You know how I know? I don't even need to talk about Barry Jackson or anyone locally. I didn't hear anything from Shams or Sam Amick or Mark Spears or anyone like, ooh, the Heat had a deal on the table to move Davion Mitchell for 7 first-round picks. But they turned it down because they like.
Counterpoint is I see the rest of the league make moves.
That's not
okay, but you wouldn't have been happy with Jose Alvarado. Like, I mean, you wouldn't have been happy if they.
Okay.
You're saying do something.
Here's the argument that I would make. So everybody else had moves, but let's play this game where the Miami Heat were the lone team that legitimately didn't have moves. Because what? Because of what? Because of why?
Show me.
Why didn't they have moves?
Show me the move.
Why didn't they have moves?
Show me the move.
What's the argument? Why didn't they have moves? Because they built a pathetic roster that no one's interested in? Because they literally have 0 pieces? Again, F-, failure. If every other team has a piece, if every other team is making a move, then the failure is even greater because they have nothing.
The fair criticisms are a year late on Jimmy Butler.
Absolutely.
No one wins there, but a year late on Jimmy Butler. Miss on Durant because you're holding on to whatever it is that you're holding on to.
Absolutely.
When Durant's in win now, Houston's in win now, you're ostensibly in win now, and you need somebody that's better than Norman Powell and Tyler Hero to advance Bam. If you're building around Bam, like these are fair criticisms.
Right, but do you see what the difference is? The difference is you're talking about actual transactions that were available and not pursued in the moment. And Mike is talking about my imagination tells me this could have happened.
No, Mike's not doing that. What Mike is doing.
Tell me what the deal was.
Let me speak very clearly to you because apparently you've missed the last 3 years. Amin, I have been saying and been right that the roster is not good enough.
No one has argued that.
No. The Miami Heat have. Publicly, they have. And by their inaction.
What are the PR department supposed to do?
Give me my 30 uninterrupted seconds.
Give
me my 30 uninterrupted seconds.
What's the PR department supposed to do?
Give me my 30 uninterrupted seconds, too. All right? Because we've been right here, espousing these beliefs that the roster is not good enough. They've been publicly, at least, and by their inaction privately, not doing anything to upgrade the roster or make it better. There is the failure. They missed the mark. We hit the mark. That's the failure. And if they hit the mark, they would have stockpiled assets. They would have done something to put themselves in better position, be it at this deadline or in the offseason. It is, look at me, irrefutable that they have failed these last 2 years with how they've managed this roster. Irrefutable. By nuking the trade value of Jimmy Butler, by the disaster Terry Rozier acquisition that I was openly campaigning against, by their inaction at this deadline.
You did. He also campaigned against Kyle Lowry in terms of,
and that was a disaster too. Even though they made it to the finals, that guy sucked.
Okay, look, I'm made uncomfortable by what just happened there. Amin just got an Amin look at me, and obediently he did. And you guys have raged at each other about something that neither one of you is wrong on, because he's like, show me the exact deal that they're turning down so that I have the facts to properly criticize this. It's not an unfair appraisal by him because there are a lot of reports and we think this about Durant. We don't know how close they could have gotten, but the reports are from these credible people that you're not willing to give up some of your young pieces in order to get Giannis.
Exactly. So, not in order to get Giannis, in order to get something that's not Giannis in the pursuit of Giannis, right? That's all I'm saying is, we know pretty well in this league when sometimes there are rumored deals that we don't hear about until years later. Oh, actually, they were very close to getting Kevin Garnett or whatever, as I was in Phoenix, right? But most of the time, when we are criticizing what a front office does or doesn't do, we have available some information. It may not be the full picture, but some information of decisions made or decisions not made. We know about the Jimmy Butler thing. He's right about that. We know about the Terry Rozier thing. He's right about that. Mike's problem is he thinks I'm arguing that they've done a great job. And my argument is, what pertains to this trade deadline, you don't know. You don't know what was available. All you know is everyone else made a deal. What does that mean? So Mike is basically chasing the action. He wants something to happen. I've worked for a man like that. I'm sorry to cut you off. I've worked for a man like that who would walk in on draft day like, what are we doing? What are we doing? That's not the job. The job isn't just doing stuff. Say, I got me one of these.
I
Look at me now.
find really interesting how different your perspectives are because, of course,
I've done it for a living.
Well, you've done it for a living, and he's spent 15 years being spoiled by the standard this organization set for us, which is none of this is good enough, and now they'll win the next 5 games, and it doesn't serve them because they've got a 0% chance at a top 4 pick if they make the playoffs. They'll fool no one by winning their last 5 games in a row against bad teams, and then they'll go into the playoffs and be not good enough. And there is no questioning that the standard they've set has fallen into some deep disrepair because they've been a year slow on moves they have not made, whatever those would have been, that wouldn't be merely getting Norm Powell and making him an all-star, but improving the team so that you don't also now have to look at Atlanta and be like, are you kidding me? Now Atlanta fixed it in 15 games, and this locomotive in the Eastern Conference is going past us because Detroit's already better, and the Knicks are already better, and Orlando kicks your ass every time they see you, and Toronto's got those young wings, and you're looking up at the entire conference, and they're younger.
The standard set is what is the Ouroboros that is eating itself up, because the standard set of excellence, the way you get excellence is by bottoming out. Now, if you want to have a real conversation about, hey, this front office fails because it refuses on policy, on record, to not go the route we went. You mentioned 3 teams, Detroit, Atlanta, Orlando. You know what all 3 of those teams have on their roster? A number 1 overall pick. Cade Cunningham, Zachary Reese-Arce, and Paolo Banchero. Right? All of those teams, regardless of how you feel about Reese-Arce, all of those teams went to the muck. They went and said, you know what? Got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and we're folding, and then hopefully we come out on the other side of this with a transformational player who's going to help our team.
Now Charlotte's better than you.
Charlotte had a number 2 or number 3 overall.
But I'm just saying it's the whole conference. I mean,
Dan, you're giving me the whole conference of people who took a strategy that the Miami Heat on principle say we do not do. We do not do. That's the only part.
You found it.
No, that's the part.
Yeah, you found it.
Mike.
It's a point off. They're making each other's points.
Mike, here's the thing. If you had said to me, this front office fails because they refuse to do the hard thing, which is be bad for real for a couple of years and then come out on the other side, I would have capitulated immediately. I would have bent the knee, to use a Tonyism, right?
So how are we highlighting a series of failures over the course of several seasons and saying that this deadline was not one of those things? I know you're just asking the question, but I don't have what was available to them. Few people do. This is a very secret organization.
Sure.
But I do think it's a pretty strong hand when you say the rest of the conference found deals. They decided on courses. Some, like the Bulls, went south. Some, like the Hawks, went north. The Heat stayed right where they are. And that's
even the Pacers went north.
I would argue that the Hawks did not go north by acquisition; they did it by subtraction.
Yes, but that could happen here too.
God, feed me more.
I mean, to the point of the Eastern Conference, we even saw a team that was in the NBA Finals last year make a move that was kind of head-scratching at the moment when the Pacers traded for Zubats. Like, there's a lot of teams that have done something, but if you have the goal of getting a Giannis, right, then you have to do things that serve that goal, no?
Yeah, so it's basically like a flow chart, right? You step over here and you say, do you want Giannis? If yes, you go this way. If no, you go this way. If your answer is yes, and you start following down that path, you cannot then midway through say, ooh, I like kind of one of those options down there. It's gone. It's done. For the Pacers, which, by the way, the other franchise in the NBA that is staunchly, on the record, anti-tanking. We do not tank in Indiana. That's what they say. They were forced into this hand. What happened to them this year?
A great hand, by the way, because now they're going to get the number one pick, AJ Dubasa, and then Halliburton's going to come back.
It was a great move. Like, your competition keeps making good moves.
It worked out for them. They took lemons and they made lemonade. If Halliburton doesn't get hurt, hell, Halliburton could get hurt. If Pascal Siakam and Nembhard and McConnell and Jackson and Naismith all don't get hurt to start the year, they're doing the same thing the Heat are doing right now because that's how they do. Now, what ended up happening was those guys all started hurt. They started awful. It set their course of their flow chart in a certain way. And then when a Zubats becomes available for multiple firsts, for them, they're saying, look, we're a team that when we're healthy, we really like who we got. We are a center away. Let's go
Which they were.
But it is reasonable, to say that you can understand a team that made it to the NBA Finals, made it deep in the NBA Finals against a really good OKC team. It's understandable that they would stand pat.
Huh, it's almost like there was a team that went to the NBA Finals and
Talk to me
stood
about
pat
5 years ago.
But 5 years ago, you were talking trash. You were like, oh, these guys aren't that good. Yes, you were.
5 years ago about their prospects not being good enough?
After they went to the finals.
Yeah, I was right about
that. The year after.
I was right about
okay,
that.
so Indiana's in the same situation. They're in the same situation.
Right.
The only difference is their franchise player got irrevocably hurt in the finals, and then all of their starters got hurt to start the year.
I love that
but in the season they were selling, they bought.
I love that an argument started when I'm like, we don't have to argue about this team anymore. We don't because we can call the
By the way,
race.
I'm talking to Tony. You're the one that's talking to me right now, but I'm talking to Tony.
But in that situation,
you decided to insert yourself
where you're tanking, but you're a buyer at the deadline because nobody saw Zubats going to Indiana.
Sure. It happened very quickly. I talked to Jake Fisher because he reported on it. It happened very quickly because it was like, hey, what's up with Zubats? And they knew that Zubats was being shopped. The Raptors were actually the ones that were really hot on it. And the word from the Clippers is, if it's not multiple firsts, don't talk to us. So the Raptors said, that's a little too rich for my blood. Somewhere there's a podcast / radio guy in Toronto who's like, I can't believe they passed someone that everyone else did stuff.
Everything that's happened here is disrespectful to David Sampson. You guys continue to argue about this, and you were so much better on this subject when screaming at Tony through the break, just screaming at him, doing your own show, so much better than you were articulating what you just articulated. I wanted to hear the show you just did with Tony when you – I've never seen in our show's history, ever, an argument go from on air to off air to you were screaming at Tony, the argument.
I wasn't screaming.
Tone?
We were talking. Very loudly, but we were talking. Because there was a lot of noise and stuff. We were excited. There was an excited tone, not an angry tone. I think Atlanta has the best prospect going forward in the Eastern Conference. If we want to talk to David about that, I don't know.
Look, the Celtics are who the Heat thought they were. And everyone else in that conference is
they're not.
Better.
Incorrect statement. Celtics had not one but two perennial All-NBA
top
guys.
5 picks.
Two top 5 picks.
But
top 3 picks.
The Celtics and Heat were even at the top of the conference, and whatever the growth has been since then has been the Boston front office leaving the Heats behind. There is no question.
No. No. You're not going to put false kind of statements as fact. They started with 2 top 3 picks who are all NBA players. Whatever the equality was at the height of Bam blocking Jason Tatum or whatever kind of poetry or prose you want to use, it was still, this team has talent. This team is scrappy guys who are just fighting to get there. And so you can't say, the front office have made all – they started on third base and made it to home. You're starting at home and trying to make it to the second.
Not only that, you have the top 3 picks that end up panning out into all NBA players.
Yes.
But then you have the development that is happening here in Miami. You have that same development over there in Boston with guys like Derek White, who couldn't shoot, is now a 3-point assassin. With guys like Peyton Pritchard, who was not going to be in the league, right?
Unplayable.
And now he leads the league in points per game in ISO.
And they trade for Drew Holiday and Porzingis, and then get rid of them, and all of the pieces now fit around their 2 pieces like that. They've made it so that they're at the top of the conference and can dominate it for a while because they've got those 2 guys under contract.
That's the starting point.
The awareness of the franchise to know that they weren't good enough, and they made moves. They had to. And Miami got swept up in making the finals, while immediately after the finals, we also argued this team totally maxed out. They're not good enough. They have to do something. They stood pat year after year, and now, like, hopefully we're just doing the same thing again, where we're wishing that, the old Pat Riley shows up and he gets the whale. What I'm arguing is, and they've shown this in the past, they've realized that they weren't good enough. They remain competitive. They did this with the Jermaine O'Neal team, where they increased their flexibility to be able to chase those whales. And all I'm asking is, if we weren't going to add a star, why not add assets? And I think that's a question that should be asked when you're holding this franchise accountable.
2 parts here. The one
Oh my God!
that responds.
Samson he's gonna lose his.
The one
mind.
thing that
2
is
parts.
a point in Mike's favor and becomes a part of it is, like, are you adding assets? I think the Heat's view here would be the flexibility that they maintain this summer may have been more valuable than trading those pieces for second-round picks and salary filler. We'll see what happens because they're trying to acquire that talent we're talking about.
That's part 1.
But when it comes to the second part, I spoke with Eric Spoelstra yesterday about this exact thing, where the Celtics and the Heat stand. And when it comes to that rivalry, like, you guys might have a first-round series if the Heat are one of the 7 or 8 seeds and end up as the 7. And he was like, look, they look at us right now like exactly what we are, and they should, because we are not to the caliber of team that they have been, and that talent disparity is obvious, and it was on display yesterday in that first quarter.
Guys, the Celtics have clinched a playoff spot now for 12 consecutive seasons. They've reached the playoffs 18 of the last 19 years and 22 of the last 25. In the last quarter century, no team has played or won more playoff games than Boston. And since the Derek White tip, all of that stuff, the Celtics have run circles around the Heat, and what you saw last night is evidence of why the Heat thing has now collapsed. David Sampson has been waiting patiently, and I just want to get to 2 more things, and I'd like them to be with David Sampson. First, Can you play Amin earlier in the show doing sensual Pat Riley for some reason? David, just please analyze for me here what it is that is happening here when Amin goes full sensuality.
Here, have this. Like, get that out of my face. I'm not doing any deals. I'm Pat Riley. I like what I have. Pat Riley.
That's a guy who has a very good Obama, a really good one, I mean. And you're trying to sort of do what you can't do, and it comes off as just wrong. Stick to Obama. You got a couple great ones, actually. I mean,
what are you doing? Explain to me what the sensuality. Are you showing your nipples to all? I'm Pat Riley, like that. Show me this again. No, I want to know what Amin is doing here. Do you think you're giving off swagger and sensuality here?
I wasn't going for sensuality. I was going more for, like, look at me. I'm here. I've arrived. Bask before
Another look at me. Tell me what happened here when Mike told you to look at me, Amin, and I was made very uncomfortable by everything that happened here.
Amin, look at me.
Wait, I thought there was a video.
Amin, look at me.
Yeah. No, look, I'm always respectful. So I wasn't being respectful when I wasn't making eye contact with him.
Amin, look at me.
He closes his eyes and shakes his head and does this little look here. I remain with eye contact. But in that moment, I wasn't. And so he was right to call me out. See that?
We're 10 minutes late, Dan. So just curiosity, is this a me thing? If it is, just fine. But if you had a guest that you scheduled and then you just did this, I guess maybe that's why the booking people have issues. I don't know. I've been here 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, and that's genuine. I do mean that sincerely. I do, because the show has gotten away from me, obviously. We rarely have an argument that's that authentic, where the two people are on different sides. And I can see where Amin is calling for fairness, and I can see where Mike is like, enough. I'm done being reasonable. Everyone's past them. Like, that's not up for dispute on where the Heat are. But before you came on with us, we were excited about the Marlins, and what I wanted to ask you is, First off, did you have any thoughts on their announced attendance of 6,000, whatever it was, earlier this week? Because you were notorious about why you would fudge the numbers on attendance in this city.
This is why. Because it's the national conversation that there were 6,500 people at the ballpark. All you have to do is buy 4,000 $1 tickets. $4,000. We wrote the check every game. You buy 4,000, you announce 10,169, and no one says a word. It is shocking to me that this view of like, oh, let's be transparent. Really? You want to be transparent when you got 6,500 people announced? No. There's a time to be transparent and a time to be murky. This is the time for the Marlins to be murky, because what we should be talking about is the fact that they got off to a 5-1 start against teams they should have gotten off to a 5-1 start against, that it puts them in a position to potentially have a season worth watching. Let's talk about Sandy Alcantara. Let's talk about Owen Cassier, Griffin Conine's bomb.
Casey.
Maybe it was when the game was out of reach, but so much to talk about. Instead, you're talking about 6,500. They did it to themselves.
I don't think anyone's talking about the 6,500.
You're talking everywhere, Mike. Oh no, it's. What do you mean?
It's the same
it's
trope.
Part of the
I think
national conversation.
Well, part of the national conversation should be 5-1 fish. Sandy, complete game shutout. They look at this lineup. Like they're like, I don't think. Okay, I guess you're running more national circles than I am. I think that's just taking low-hanging fruit. Locally, I don't think anybody's talking about that, so maybe that's what I'm applying.
Yeah, so I'm definitely talking about nationally because nationally people watch your show, and nationally that is how these type of shows are engaged, and that's our audience, and that's just, by the way, baseball fans, sports fans. How about that I got contacted by people who aren't even baseball fans, hadn't watched the game, and then commented to me about the attendance and wanted my thought, like, do you have a comment about 6,500 people? And my response was, I've got a comment about having one of the top 5 pitchers ever to wear a Marlins uniform going 9 and doing a Maddox. Would you like that comment? And the answer was, nah, we're more curious what your thought is on attendance.
Amin, can you walk me through what you make of what David is saying? Because he is taking a very easy approach as for $4,000 a game, I buy myself out of an embarrassment. It's a price worth murky numbers. But he's doing an accounting move just to not have the conversation about the Marlins be again for the 30th straight year. How do they support baseball down there with no crowds?
But he's right. It goes back to kind of some of the argument I was having with Mike, where he says, well, they have their PR people run to Barry Jackson and say this. I'm like, yeah, what are they supposed to do? The job of the PR department is to protect the franchise at all costs, and we're not here to be, like David said, there's a time for transparency. This ain't one of the times. So we do whatever it takes to not attract the wrong kind of attention to our franchise. The team is 5-1. Jeremy tells me they've got a better record since some date last year.
June 13th.
In the last 100 games, right, than the Dodgers do.
Samson, don't laugh at that. 100's a good sample.
Right, like, so
yes.
The whole
No,
point.
I'm laughing that Amin is trying to talk baseball. I love this.
Yeah, well, I think I'm succeeding also, right? So the idea is that there are plenty of positive storylines to be put ahead, and for it to be overshadowed by an attendance figure that can be easily fixed, like David said, for $4,000. Hell, call it $5,000. Let's go crazy. Let's say there are 11,000 people there. Let's give away the seats. Whatever it is, it's so easy to obfuscate that one embarrassing part that really isn't important to the story of the team.
David, I want to bring you in on something we were discussing yesterday and wanted to properly articulate your vantage point on this. We were talking about how the customer going to the games is less important to owners than it has been. And I was parroting some opinions I've heard you and Skipper espouse, but Mike and Amin were arguing with the idea that the in-game experience now, very luxurious, catering to high-end people, still is important. How long before it's not important anymore? That no fans at the game or very few people in seats, that it won't matter because the TV money is so large that all of these places can neglect customer service because it matters less that people go to the ballparks.
Well, you're not neglecting customer service. You're just figuring out where there are more customers. And you can't be the same and do the same for every type of customer, which is why there are different types of experiences within a stadium, whether you're in the outfield or whether you're in a luxury suite behind the plate. I think what you're referring to is that there's way more money in national revenue and in streaming revenue as a percentage of your total pie than there ever has been. And those numbers are increasing at a percentage, at a compounding rate, way more than ticket prices, plus food, merch, parking. All of those combined do not show the inflationary aspects as do broadcast revenue. And so that's why you're seeing a change. Look at what Skipper did with Unrivaled. He made that a television studio. Let in a couple thousand people and just make it a TV product to get a TV deal to get the league on its feet. The NBA right now, if you ask them, the NFL, I hate to tell you, it's the same thing. If you look at their TV deals, it's just not even close what they care about more.
All right, so clean this up for me, because the NBA got their money, the NFL got their money, and the NFL is trying to renegotiate. I see all sorts of news items on all these other leagues getting frustrated because the NFL is hogging all the money. There's only so much budget that people have for this. I see RSNs collapsing. It used to be a huge part of the baseball model. Now that has to evolve. I do think baseball is in pretty solid position to be able to adapt with the times. They had the infrastructure. Basketball, it's going to be an issue. Certainly for hockey, it's going to be an issue. But I don't see TV money from this point on moving in with that sustainable growth. I actually see the money coming down, especially when you factor RSNs into it. So wouldn't that put more importance on getting people through the turnstiles?
No, you maybe talk about the allocation of local versus national, Mike, when it comes to baseball. But the NFL, when you say they're trying to renegotiate, what they're doing is they have an opt-out in their media rights deal 4 years from now, in 2029. I guess it's 3 years now. We're in 26. And they have TV deals that were signed through 33, but with an opt-out in 29. And they're going around to their partners and saying, hi, we're the NFL. Do me a favor. We want more money right now. And if you give us more money, here's what we'll do for you. We won't opt out in 2029.
No, it's not just that, though, David, because Paramount is changing ownerships now. The NFL can renegotiate with them right now. Like, they can open up that contract right now because of that trigger of the Paramount sales clause.
Yeah, but it's all part of the same. They're not going to renegotiate one company at a time, Dan. They're doing it all in. They're not just talking to Netflix about taking 4 extra games right now or a 4-game package. They're trying to do everybody. It's coming out as they're negotiating with one company at a time, but no business does that. There's no exclusive period where there's going to be some sort of breakage fee. Hey, if we don't get it done with Paramount, then we'll move on to Comcast. They're doing it all at once to put the entire package together. And it's what the NBA did, and they just finished doing it, which is why you saw them on 10 channels. And it's what MLB is trying to do after 2028, which is to combine everything and make it much more national, Mike, which takes away the local side of the importance of that revenue, which you're right. It used to be so important, and it's just disappeared.
David, the problem is yesterday Dan's version of the argument was kind of adulterated to be like, it doesn't matter at all. And I said, they're never going to give up on the in-game experience because that is revenue. Just because the streaming rights and the media deal money is growing at a larger rate to be a bigger percentage of the revenue pie does not mean that they're going to ever forego this. So what Skipper did with Unrivaled,
which did forego that.
Yes, but that's the scales are completely different in terms of this, a startup league in a niche version. It's not even 5-on-5 basketball, right? Versus these legacy things that are often being performed in buildings that the people who own the team own the building as well, or at least operate it. There's no part of this, David, where we're going to see 10 years from now, 15 years from now, like, that's all on TV. That's never going to happen, right?
No, but what you are going to see is where it takes on less importance. What used to be a big focus when we built Marlins Park, angles, where are the cameras going to be? What seats are impacted by camera placement? Mm-hmm. And we would have Cablevision or Fox and MLB come, the broadcasting department. And when you're designing all of that, you're thinking about obstructed seats. You don't think about that anymore. You want and need the best camera angles for ABS. Right. You need it for replay. You need it for the TV broadcast. That has taken on a far bigger importance in terms of how a game is presented. But no, you're not going to turn down revenue. But nobody's doing stadium deals anymore. They're all doing real estate deals. Sure. They're all doing deals to get revenue outside of the stadium, because what happens inside the stadium, no matter how many Guns N' Roses concerts you have, is just not enough.
David, do you wish you had done a bigger deal for Lone Depot that included the surrounding area and had like an entertainment complex?
Yeah, we tried. We wanted control of the garage retail. We wanted control of the ballpark retail, and the city wouldn't give it up because they thought that they had a better chance of running it, and they wanted the money. And it ended up, of course, not having any of the urban sprawl that we hoped to see in Little Havana. It's been 15 years already, and you just haven't seen anything. And that's obviously a great disappointment.
It's the opposite of urban sprawl. Just to be more respectful, though, to David Sampson, because we did waste his time at the beginning of this here. He is going to infiltrate and infect Pitch Clock with Jeremy Taché. His baseball knowledge is really good, and we don't use it enough around here because we're always talking about the business stuff. So I don't know what he and Jeremy are going to cook up here later in the show, but he will get his time back with Jeremy Taché. And I offer you my sincere apologies for wasting so much of your time on the front end of this. Take me through the business of Netflix getting into baseball, and the ratings numbers were said to be 3 million people. The numbers, I don't know what numbers to believe. The numbers on Diamondbacks Dodgers on NBC was 3.2 million people. I don't know what those numbers mean. I would think Netflix buying into baseball at $50 million, if they can get 3 million people to their baseball product, I guess that's a success, but I don't know the accounting here. Do you?
Yeah, no. So I'm not paying attention to that announcement of 3 million or 1 million. I have no way to understand how they're arriving at that numbers. The way that you want to look at it is, what are their subs? Are they gaining more subs who joined because of baseball, who are going to keep renewing even though there's not a game now until the Home Run Derby? Because that's how Netflix is looking at it. That their return on their baseball investment is not from the number of people who watch the game. It's the number of people who engage with their platform and then do it on a monthly basis. Because you know this, Dan, there is nothing better than recurring revenue. It is the dream of any business to have that, and that is what streaming services are. It's why this goes all the way back to fun that we've had on this show about Columbia Records, where you forget to cancel and you keep getting records sent to you.
Do you guys not marvel, though, as you watch the business of sports explode? Do you guys not marvel at the idea that of all this found money in streaming? They're doing the same product, and they're selling it for so much more because there are more competitors, and so this thing continues to grow at an accelerant that has no stopping it.
Well, I do think that they're stopping it, because we were talking about RSNs the same way. There's going to be something that changes this. Hell, it might even be a recession, but teams are already complaining. Franchises and leagues are already complaining that there isn't enough money for them when it comes to rights because the NFL is in the room. So I think, much like RSNs, at a certain point, we're going to reach a point where the money's never going to go up anymore. And the market will then dictate what these new deals are. Right now, it's a gold rush for these leagues, but I think you're already starting to see, David, the start of the end times for that.
I do not. I think we're not even in the middle of the end times. I think we may be in the middle of the early part of what streaming is going to look like and what consolidation will look like. And leagues are smartly taking advantage of it by negotiating deals right now. If baseball had its druthers, they would not be waiting till 2029. They'd like to get a collective bargaining agreement done yesterday, and they'd like to be out in the market. It doesn't matter. The concept of the NFL taking all the money inside the league offices, they're not really looking at it that way, because if you look at the competition for hours, it's hours of content. The NFL and Major League Baseball are not competing in terms of eyeballs and streams at the same time for the most part. September, yes, you could argue on Sundays. In October, there may be a conflict, but guess what? There's enough money to go around for all these sports. So it's not like they're panicked about the NFL.
Okay, so we can dismiss what they're putting in the public space as posturing, I guess. Everything's a negotiation. But ESPN is not really keeping this a secret that they already regret the WWE deal. Apple very clearly had to do a lot of changes to their MLS deal. They regret that. There are really regrettable deals being signed and have been for the last several years. At a certain point, the people buying these licenses are going to realize it's not worth the squeeze because they're providing seed money right now, right? They're not even hoping to recoup. They're just trying to get subs and credit cards that they hope just keep charging well beyond the term of these leagues. I do think, and there's plenty of soccer examples too where there was regrettable money spent. How many bad deals do there have to be before the marketplace wisens up?
Take that with players. Think about what you just said on the number of teams who regret signing certain players, and then you've got to trade him but pay part of his money, and then they get traded again, and you end up with 3 teams paying the salary even of one player, even though when he signed there was a jersey ceremony, there was excitement. You walk out of the field, with a flag around your back, like all sorts of cool things happening. So that sort of regret will always happen, but as long as there's competition, that sort of regret gets forgotten about quickly and you get back in the saddle. So when you say that Apple has a regret over MLS, okay, over that particular deal at that particular moment, but they're right back in the game allocating their resources and their capital to doing deals just like it with leagues as they figure out how to get more eyeballs on live events. I just don't think live events will ever have a recession.
Nothing Personal is the podcast, and it is very good, very strong in as few words as possible. Tell me the Netflix baseball experience. Very criticized. Success or not?
86.
So they get a B?
No, or is it 86?
You're right near a B plus.
Okay.
You chose 86 is a weird number because 86 also means cancel it. I was like, oh, wow.
It's not.
Sorry.
It's not. You couldn't do success or no success. You
86
couldn't give me a word. You gave me a number, and you just played your own game. Your own bullshit
really
game.
Confusing.
Like he gave me an 86. He gave us a grade for some reason. I'll try it again. Netflix was widely criticized presenting baseball to America in its first try. The public relations were, we could say objectively, bad. They spent $50 million on a 3-year contract, again, found money for baseball, to just televise 3 big events. This is one of them. Worth it, yes or no? Success, yes or no?
85.
That's not a B+.
Solid
That's
B.
a B.
That's a good score. That's a
B.
good
Solid
grade.
B.
That is a good grade.
It's not a B+.
I would have matter, but a B plus.
It goes
When I
down,
bring the report
it's
card
just-
home, my
no.
mom sees B.
No,
She doesn't care.
I was
I loved
so
an 85.
mad at
Are
85s.
we still doing 85?
Loved an 85.
Are we still doing it this way? They're still using this as the grading system, or is ours outdated?
80 to 89, it's a B. Doesn't matter if it's 89, doesn't matter if it's 80. I
Is
bring my
that
mom
still,
home a B.
But is that still the grading system? The math is no longer the same in schools. Nobody knows how to count anymore. They don't have to. The calculators in the libraries will do it for them on their phone.
Social studies has changed.
Who wrote the books?
For the better.
Is 85 eternally still a B? Is that the one thing that's still allowed to be in the American school system? Really?
Feel confident in that.
Really?
David, I saw Nothing Personal was on mute, so I know you've already covered this ground, but I saw Send Help as well, and I was curious your thoughts on the movie.
I wasn't scared. It was a poor man's triangle of sadness, but I really did enjoy because I love Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien was fine. There's really no other characters. It's beyond credibility for me. If you ever get on a deserted island, isn't the first thing you do is to make sure that it's a deserted island? I gotta believe, that was one of my issues with Lost, which I loved. How do you not go find anything else that could be on the island? And in Send Help, spoiler alert,
This is a
you
giant
may want to
spoiler.
look around the island.
This is a
Spoiler
giant
alert!
spoiler.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! I don't think you can do all of what
I
you
mean,
just
he gave it
did
away
there.
beforehand.
Yeah.
just saying, look at the island. I'm not spoiling anything.
Well,
if you're going to be, it's like when you're on Survivor. You walk around the island looking for stuff you can eat until the producer says, dude, don't eat that. And you're like, okay, how about this? You're trying to find stuff to eat. If I'm Tom Hanks in Castaway and I get a bunch of FedEx packages, you can bet your ass that I'm going to walk to the other side just to see, hey, any other possible packages that I may want to open?
But that's why one of them is incapacitated, because he can't get up for himself to look around the island.
He's an invalid?
He eventually can, Mike.
There's a plot device as to why he doesn't.
He took her, and that's the other thing. If you're ever on a deserted island with one other person, don't take their word for it. Do like a double check.
I like this working theory. If you're ever on a deserted island, maybe check out the rest of the island. That's one. And my one that I dropped yesterday, David, was, hey, if it's ever the apocalypse and you get lucky, pull out.
Good point.
Don't have a
good
child.
point. That was a big deal.
You had a drop yesterday?
Yeah,
you dropped one yesterday? You dropped an amine?
Yeah.
On where? On America? There was an amine drop yesterday. Where did you drop this? On
the
another
postgame
on this show, on the postgame show.
Okay, so you dropped it in here. Do you do this on purpose, David, or to make yourself purposely unlikable when you go with the phrase, it's like when you're on Survivor? Like, do you do that purposely? I'm asking genuinely. Do you, when you mention so casually having been on Survivor, are you conscious and purposeful about it?
Well, people know that I've been on Survivor. I think they know me for, nothing personal, the Le Batard Show and Survivor more than anything else I've done in my career. And so, no, I'm trying to give the example of, hey, I've been on an island that's not totally deserted, but you feel that way. And so I've seen movies. Castaway is one of my favorite movies. So I'm thinking about these things because I'm planning for, with all the flying we all do, like what happens if I'm in a plane crash? What do I do? How do I survive it? What's my plan once I'm on the island? I do spend time thinking about these things. And at noon today, as a matter of fact, I will be working through some of these things as I have another appointment with a therapist as I try to make sure that I'm right in terms of how I'm thinking about what I would do on a desert island were I to go to one.
David, we are going to have more David Sampson during Pitch Clock. Him and Jeremy will break down baseball in a way. I'm telling you, and it'll be an hour or two. Sampson is very good on the subject of baseball. What we tend to talk to him about a variety of things here.
Do you guys get to why the game is so fast now? We need to slow the game down a little bit, Dave. I don't like how fast it is. I get to my seat. I look around. It's the third inning. I take a sip of a beer. It's the sixth inning. I'm doing the seventh inning stretch. I'm going home. It takes me an hour and a half. I'm done with the game. It's crazy.
Tony, it's like a dream.
No, I need it to be about 4. I need to be like 3.5, 3:45. I can get a couple beers in. I can make a couple walks around the concourse. I stand up, go to the bathroom. It's just 4 innings go by.
Good. But if we could get every fan to say that the average crap lasts 3 innings and it wasn't because of a long line, now we're getting somewhere.
No, it needs to be slower. I went to opening day. I got into the seats. I was holding my daughter. All of a sudden, I look up. 8 things have happened, and we're six innings in. It's terrible.
I don't like
Sandy, baby.
I don't like what Tony's doing with
He was
baseball.
working fast, which I didn't like.
I'm on to Tony.
Oh, and to me, what? I want to love
like
the
this.
game. I want to love the national pastime. I want it to be something that I can enjoy with my family without being there. I park off-site. I got to walk over there. By the time I walk over there, 3 pitches have already gone. They're already done.
I got it. The argument is I'm here to avoid my family.
No, my family
and
was
I'm not
with me.
avoiding my family
Parking
enough.
off-site.
My family
Where do you
was
want
with
to
me.
park?
I parked at
like
somebody
it.
no blocky. I gave her $20.
Keep with the tip.
He's really Cuban. He's
like
still
it.
doing it the
Of course,
old-fashioned way.
I
as
do.
you
I
should.
support the
Helping
economy.
the local economy.
Thank you.
What does Chris Cody know about this?
The rich
I know.
man.
I know about No Blocky. You kidding me?
No, what he's
Grew
doing.
up on No Blocky.
You judged him for. You know about it, but now you park elsewhere and you judged him. Don't say you weren't judging him.
You pay the $60. I pay the 20 no blocky.
You said you park off-site. I've got to stop everything we're doing here, David, because I am told, and Coke has never done this before, in an emergency sending of video, Coca is telling us that we have video here of you getting scared of a large animal during your give us the context here of what happened during your show. Were you attacked by a large animal?
The context is that I do a live show every morning at 7 a.m., and there's never any bugs in the studio. There's never anything in the studio. And there was a live thing flying around while I was talking, and I have no relief. I had to kill it. And I Miyagi'd it, and it scared me because I don't want a bug flying around. It gets in my way. So I was able to kill it, but
You caught it?
Killed it. Not only did I get it by doing that,
it's a move.
I grabbed it in my palm, and then I put it down on the desk, and then I hit the desk, which moved the camera. All of this while we're live, and there's nothing I can do.
I gotta see
because we
this.
don't edit.
So do you think this was good video? Have you seen it? Because Coke is,
I have not.
Okay, so what we're about to see, that Coke is sending us in an emergency.
No.
Well, but what do you think? Because it was live, you have not revisited this. Do you think this is
No.
going to be flattering or embarrassing video? Are you going to be an amazing athlete?
If you're using it, it's embarrassing, obviously. Why would you do anything flattering? So I assume I look
yeah,
terrible.
no,
in
but
real
the way-
life.
It's a strong assumption.
But the way you describe, they're telling me they've sent me something. You just described it as you showing up as Miyagi, the Karate Kid's mentor, being able to catch a fly with chopsticks. And I'm guessing you were scared of a small bug. Is that what they've sent
I
us?
just didn't want to fly into my mouth. I don't want to fly into my eye. I know we're live, and what I tried to do was grab it while still talking, and then I lost track of what I was talking
right.
about. It was NBA Europe, but I nailed it.
Nothing personal, live every day. Let's hear this.
Is that it's really not. It's really not. There is a major animal in this apartment.
Animal.
They all.
I don't know what I'm going to do here. Hold on. I can't do a show like this, Coca. There is something that is going to hit.
Caught it.
Got him. Holy cow. Hey, we're live. I don't like, can you imagine doing a show like on a safari? Oh. Sorry. Got him. Right there.
How small David
A
looks.
major animal.
Oh my god.
I couldn't even see it on the piece of paper.
It's like
That was
wildlife.
live.
animal. Like,
That was awesome.
For me, it was just his staring at it. The first 10 seconds of that.
Yeah, he said I lost track of what I was talking about. I thought he just kind of started talking in kind of fillers, and you literally just stopped talking. You just stared.
Coca?
Thanks, Dan.
Somebody give Coca a raise. Coca just made an emergency decision.
Look how little the bug is.
The bug is the smallest thing I've
a
ever
fly.
seen.
An animal.
I described it as
That bug had to be like, did you just call me
major
an animal?
animal.
a major, major,
Picturing the bug like, what? He just called me?
He inflated his ego before he killed him.
A major animal.
Like a harpy eagle
All
inside
right,
his
hold
apartment.
on, hold on. I want to play this again. There's a bird of prey. Clearly, Rick Pitino is flown into his house and is hovering over his computer. Look at how distracted that David is on this lonely island doing a show, trying to tackle difficult subject matter and distracted by literally the smallest things.
Is that it's really not. It's really not. There is a major animal in this apartment. I don't know what I'm going to do here. Hold on. I can't do a show like this, Coca. There is something that is going to hit. I think I got him. Holy cow. Hey, we're live. I don't like, can you imagine doing a show like on a safari? Oh. Sorry. Got him. Right there.
Gets drunk, and Roy has to finish his hockey segment.
Mike Ryan has landed in Vegas. God knows what time it is right there.
Barbados, Carnival.
So welcome back, Billy, and I don't know where this particular tension is going to end up. Welcome back, and I also want to get to Mike Ryan. He does not agree with you on Hard Knocks, Chris. He doesn't.
Oh, trust me, we had a whole text exchange last night. I almost drove to his house to fight him.
Yeah, you guys have very wildly disparate opinions on the Oakland Raiders and Hard Knocks. But first, Billy, welcome back. How was your honeymoon?
It was good. Thank you for asking.
Oh, he's tightened up his game now that he's refreshed. Okay, things are
it's just so hot today, Dan. I don't know what's going on with the air, but luckily I have this little fan that I bought before a hurricane that I have plugged into my phone, so like it's keeping me nice and cool.
I'm so jealous.
You guys should get these. These things are awesome. Look at it, Dan. You see this thing? Look at this.
Can you please tell me about all the awkward things that happened to you? Did anything weird happen to you in Barbados? Like what kind of, just give me some awkward Billy on his honeymoon stuff. Is there anything that...
The non-awkward would be a much shorter story.
Yeah, I wonder how this is going to go. What's the best you got from your honeymoon? And then we'll move on to other things like Antonio trying to steal your job.
I've had a lot of awkwardness, well, in my entire life, I guess, but... Recently, I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, well, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's a different story.
All right, go sit outside for a second. We'll get back to it.
Whoa!
Antonio, just go sit in his chair. We'll get back to it.
I'm back, baby.
I want to hear the whole story. I just don't understand why you can't even get the name right of Carnival and like
it's Crop Over. That's fun.
Why is it called a honeymoon?
It's a good question.
That is a good question. Put it on the poll, Antonio, now that you've replaced Billy in his chair. Do you know why they call it a honeymoon? Mike, do you have the sound? A very simple sound, a very simple question. Basically, I want you to hear Billy, who has a reputation for yammering and just not being able to get anything out, and he's rusty because he hasn't been paying attention to the internet for 10 days. So he came in here today and it was just a furnace blast of news, all of it weird, disorienting. The local hour has gone someplace else.
We showed him Antonio Brown's feet.
Yeah, like he's missed a lot. I am actually scared when I disappear for my honeymoon. I'm going to come back and I feel like things are just going to be gone. There's the possibility like the shipping container room just floated off into the Atlantic Ocean.
We're still not out of hurricane season.
Yeah, I am going to fall it's very easy to fall very far behind, very fast when it comes to the amount of stimulation and news and sports stuff that you are getting. Billy was off the grid. He comes back. Everything's changed except his inability to say anything quickly. So
it's white now.
Everything is different. Like you
That's the most efficient you've ever been.
Yes. Look at that. Did you learn something on your honeymoon? Okay, so lest you think he has cured his ills of not being efficient, please play for the audience. This is Billy Rusty returning from his honeymoon. Just him simply trying to say where he was.
I've had a lot of awkwardness, well, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, well, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's
for the love of God. All right, go sit outside for a second. We'll get back to it. Whoa! You would have kept going. You would have given it 20 names if I didn't cut you off and kick you out. You would have given it 20 names. Actually, the roots of the word come from the 1700s and indigenous people.
I was upset you did that to Billy his first day back, but hearing it back, he absolutely deserved it.
Again, yes. I want you to hear again, just Mike, the last part of it, where he's simply trying to say, Billy is simply trying to tell us, this is a very simple transaction. Hey, Billy, where were you? What were you doing? He got snagged and stuck on where were you?
I've had a lot of awkwardness, well, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, well, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's a different story.
All right, go sit outside. How do I not get frustrated with that? Like, I missed it for 10 days, but I don't miss it anymore.
Those are important details.
I normally don't hear, but I heard it.
All right, start again then. And real quick, Mike, just the short version, Billy being asked, where were you, Billy? on your honeymoon? This is a simple question. It gets a simple response in most circumstances, unless you're talking to Billy.
So in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right, or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over, and it's at the end. Well, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's a different story.
All right, Billy, we've established where you are and what it's called, kind of. Now, proceed.
All right, so this is how it works. Crop Over is like a couple months long, and Kadooment is like the grand finale, and it's like a carnival type thing, and you guys will see from time to time, every once in a while, Rihanna will go back to Barbados, and she'll be like parading in the streets, and it's like Brazilian carnival, basically. So we wanted to do that, which is not something that at all is something that I would probably ever be in my comfort zone, right? You would think me parading.
It's a lack of repressions. It is free, liberated people being themselves. So of course that's the worst place in the world for you to be soaked in fear.
Oh, it gets worse. So to participate in this, you have to sign up with what are called bands, and they have a bunch of different bands that you sign up for. So we found a band, and then I get my costume. You have to pay to get costumes. So I'm going through the streets, and I'm shirtless, and I'm in pink shorts and a cowboy hat and all this fake jewelry that they have on, that it's like massive, like this pendant around my chest and like these arm cuffs. So I'm like going through the streets dressed not in all way that I'd ever be comfortable doing it. And I thought that, you know what, it's like a parade. It'll be like the Three Kings parade that they have in you know, Dade County. And it'll be like a couple blocks, whatever, Thanksgiving Day parade. So when we're in the taxi to get there, I asked the guy, I go, how long is this parade? And he's like, oh, it's 9 to 10 miles. And I'm like, whoa. 9 to 10 miles, like that cannot be right. So I'm like feverishly looking through my phone. Like, I need to find the parade route. I need to know exactly where I'm going through Barbados. I need to know.
You're doing this with like bejeweled and all sorts of fake jewelry.
Oh yeah, dressed like a clown in the back of it. And don't get me started on Barbados taxis, because it doesn't cost $20 American to go everywhere. Okay, like I went like 10 blocks. $20 is way too much to go on a taxi 10 blocks. All right.
Once you're in the cab in their territory, they've got you, Bill. It doesn't matter. You're lucky it was only $20.
Put it on the poll. Yes. Once you're on the cab in their territory, do they have you?
It's a home game for them.
A bit steep for the amount of travel that we were, like 2 miles, $20 seems like a lot, but whatever. So I find out that it's actually a 10K, which is like 6 miles. But either way, I'm not prepared to be walking through the heat dressed like a...
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
No pause.
I just saw an assassin walk into the other
Oh,
room.
Dan.
I saw all of you get out of the way a little bit. We have a guy who is a violent finisher of combat sports. He is a strike first guy, and he's built out of rocks. I saw what just happened out there, where a sea opened up to him as he walked in, because it is a fighting machine that has walked in here.
Ethan?
Oh, there he is. Oh, boy.
Dan, he's got some mitts on him. Went to shake his hand. I was like, damn. Big hands. Gino's walking away.
No, the size. Well, it's not just that they're big hands; it's that they're hands made out of rocks. Those are blunt instruments. He finishes fights with them. He's a violent finisher.
Yuri Prohaska is the guy we're talking about, who's fighting across the street at the Kaseya Center on Saturday, April 11th, against Carlos Ulberg for the light heavyweight title in the UFC. And he is a scary dude.
He's taking our water machine for a walk
trying,
right now.
Trying to figure out how to use it. It is tough.
I'm just glad he wasn't here yesterday when that stupid-ass water machine was doing April Fool's.
I know.
I hated that.
So dumb.
Like, just pour my water.
He'd push the water button and it would just say
Ooh, what
April
flavor
Fool's
did he
on the
get?
screen.
Just stupid.
He probably got the vitamin boost. That's what you do. Yep. That's the move, right?
He's going cold. I can tell he's going cold.
He's got to be careful what he puts in his system before a fight. He better not have any Cuban coffee. He won't be allowed to fight.
Ooh, should we have Fuentes make some Cuban coffee for him?
He'll get banned. He will succump in the face
Stimulant?
of yes. This person, bring him in here, please, at his leisure. Don't
hurry him. Please do not hurry him.
Don't hurry him. Request his presence in here if he
He's
would
gonna
like.
open the door. Beep.
If he,
Amin, don't look down.
Okay, but just so Amin knows, this is a proud samurai who he honors the mixed martial arts by being an assassin striker in the fighting game, and those guys are always unusual champions and creatures.
And I mean, he agrees with me on all my heat takes.
And mine on Marlins attendance.
Yuri, welcome. Thank you for being with us. I admire your violence. I admire your training. I admire your discipline.
Thank you. Hello, guys.
Thank you. So you're fighting here across the street from us, and what I've read about you, your training regimen is, it seems crazy.
Crazy for who?
Ah, got you there, Dan.
Yeah, maybe crazy for somebody who don't know that, but what you mean especially?
Jesus Christ. Yes, I'm not, rest assured, I am not questioning your training measures. I'm saying that to be great at what you're great at, the way that you punish yourself in training seems to take a mental strength that is really unusual.
You know, every high-level athlete, the sport on the top level is not so healthy, not so usual, not so normal. That's why we have to be like a little bit above the normal line. So, and I like to go through these levels, which is like behind the normal. So
why are they laughing? Why are you guys?
You said I admire your violence.
That's a bar. I admire your violence. Do you get that compliment all the time?
T-shirt.
Yeah. I just see the video. Yeah, the punching to the tree. Yeah. But this is like, you know, this is old me. This is old me who did all these stuffs and no, this is not old me to punch and work on my garden, but to do like sometimes I'm trying to do like really crazy stuff like to punching tree. This is not good idea, you know. It came from the Japanese style to punching the makivara. Makivara is the like wood stick. You know, and they use that in karate to punch that, and response from that stick is that give you energy back to the body, so you can know where is the space, how to tense the body in the right places to be stable, to have a right technique, you know.
But also hardens your fists so much that they are rocks, and
Yes.
you cannot hurt your hands almost by striking anything.
Yeah, that's right. And but it's not so smart to punch like the big tree. So like I did on video. So I changed a lot of things. But I like to do these videos and be a little.
Well, what is this video here? What is this? This is dramatic breathing and ice work. What are you doing here?
Man, I like the challenges, you know. I like the challenges, and this challenge was especially 1 year back. It was the 6th April 2025.
Oh, this is terrifying. You went under ice water here, and you can drown at any point if you get lost here. And how long are you underwater?
There was like 35 seconds. 35 seconds you Man, like,
but you can die.
It's incredibly dangerous. It's terrifying.
Yes, it's terrifying. But it's about to calm the mind in every aspect of your life. And these challenges gave me the opportunity to control myself as much as I can. So that's why I do these things. And this challenge last year, the swimming under the ice, was like, you know, like when you're trying something first time in your life, like sex, you know.
I'm listening.
Go on, you do that, and then you know till that moment you don't know, you don't have.
He's right about that.
You have just imagination, about that. But after that, you really know what it's about that.
Once you do it,
you know about that sex meme?
Yes.
I know all about that. I know all about that sex.
So that was especially these thing, because it was really totally another world.
So you experiment, you search for these extreme training methods. What's one that you did, and after you said, I'm not doing that again?
Which one of these?
Yeah, one that you did, and you said after, that was a bad idea. I'm never doing that again.
Man, I will do all of these things, but what I learned, do it more professionally. You know, I did many times, like I I just took the bag and all these equipment, and I just went to the mountains somewhere. I didn't take a map, and I just went to the mountains, and I lost myself, and I just tried to survive there for a few days, and it was not funny. Then it was not. It was just not funny, and it was like just survive.
This is careless, though. You went into the jungle to live for 2 days, and you had to kill your own food, and you had to find drinking water, and this is not smart.
Yeah, this is not smart. This is really not smart, and because you have to know the rules.
But why are you doing that? You don't have a death wish. You're trying to challenge yourself.
That's it. Maybe that's it. That's why because I'm trying to challenge my mind to stay calm in every aspect, in every situation, to be calm, to be ready for whatever will come. Yeah, and
how dangerous was this jungle? Like, what are the things that happened that you weren't expecting as you're trying to be calm in all circumstances?
Which one you mean?
When you're saying that you're spending 2 days in the jungle or in the forest for 2 days trying to survive, that
in mountains.
Excuse me.
Snow, mountain, no food, nothing.
Like Rocky.
Yeah.
Any wildlife?
Yeah.
Yeah? Like bears and wolves?
No. Just some. I didn't saw anything, but just
hear it.
You hear it in something around your town.
What noise did you hear?
Yeah, some noise. Some
was it like
something like
turkey.
That's
Cody's stomach.
Yeah, but you have to stay. That's like I said. You have to stay calm. You have to know what to do, because in another case, you will just freeze yourself. You have to know what to do.
Yuri, when you were climbing that mountain and the things were happening in Mexico back in the day, how was that for you when everybody started telling you, like, hey, there's like explosions and fires happening, and like you were on the top of a mountain? How did that feel?
Which mountain it was?
It's a great sentence. Which mountain it was, as the rugged warrior, that samurai says, I've climbed so many mountains. Which mountain was this?
No, because there was a many mountain. I think, and one of that was it was not in Mexico. There was one too also, but there was one in Iceland, and. One guy took me by Uber there to the mountain, and he stopped, and I can't go more. There is a snow, there is a really bad snowfall. I can't see anything, and the bad way, and the mountain is not good today, because they just know how to read.
You hate to hear the mountain's not good today.
So this is how every Dracula movie starts.
So I went from the car, and I said to him, wait here for me 2 hours. I will go there and back, and I'll be there. Yeah. And so I just ran and I wanted to see the top of the volcano, the volcano, but not far. So I ran.
A place a human being shouldn't be.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think there was some, like, but not usually. So
Is there a path?
It was successful.
There's a path on the road, or you just
no,
go?
you just see the top. You
but
just see the top, and you just go.
But you insist on living big, because what you're doing in UFC 327, when you pour everything you care about into a single night because you want to be a champion, you've been working for this night all of your entire life. You have something about you that, if not a death wish, wants to challenge yourself to the biggest possible, embarrassment, consequences.
Yep.
Because what you guys do for a living is an unusual kind of courageous, to fight other men for money.
We are warriors, in all the cultures, in all the human history. This is the first, the sport. This is the first competition of the men's. That was the first competition. There was no football or hockey or or tennis or whatever, playing with the balls or whatever. No, there was who's better, me or you.
We fight.
And we fight. and that's the original.
There you go, Dan. We fight.
No, but that's the original sport. It's the first one.
Yeah, that's the essence. That's the principle of the fighting, of the competition. Yeah. Then it changed for balls, for soccer, for whatever.
But the most primal of them is the fight.
The most primal is the fight, yes. And we gave some ethic and some rules into this age, to these fights. So we have MMA here, UFC, and here we are.
What introduced you into training this way? I'm assuming when you started, you were training traditional, and then something told you, I need more. I need to go to the mountain. I need to swim under frozen water.
I have to do more to be a champion?
What started that for you?
Fear. I hate fear. No, I don't hate fear. I wanna be so deep contact with the fear to see through him, because he's just shaking the mind. He's just shaking your emotion and asking you, are you sure in this? Are you sure in this? Are you stable here? And I hate these type of questions inside myself, to myself. So that's why I'm doing all these things and trying to be a little bit closer, day by day, to the calm mind, to see totally through. So
there's no such thing as fearless, correct?
Yeah, that's it.
But you want to be so comfortable with fear that you do not fear it.
Man, I would like to say yes, but it's a daily work, every day. Once you say I'm a master of that, then you lost that, because then you started to be, man, I don't need to do anything more. No, you have to every day, because every day there is a new challenge.
Why are they laughing back there?
Because they cut to Jeremy.
Because
I'm just nodding along, listening to fearlessness,
an incredible answer about fearlessness and being uncomfortable with fear, and they show Jeremy for some reason.
He's talking about
He's afraid of everything.
I'm constantly fearful.
Yeah.
You can tell by looking at him.
That's good. That's great. But you can. But I appreciate you. You can say, and be honest. I feel fair.
You got to stare through the fear.
Yeah. But you have to stay. Don't just. I
fight through it every day.
You have to. Yes.
Showing up to this workplace where they're going to call out how fearful I am. That's one of my fears. When you look around the room here, like, as fighters, who do you think here of us would do the best in the cage?
One more time, sorry.
Like, who would fight the best? Look around the room here.
Who's fighting the best?
Yeah. Who do you think?
Man, sometimes it's sometimes the guy who looks like
Jeremy.
The most no fighter. He sometimes he's the best. It's not about the look. It's about the skill. It's about the skill, self-confident, and being ready to do whatever is necessary.
If I tell you right now, how long would it take you if the assignment was to kill him, to kill Jeremy? How
long?
And you have to do it as fast. It has to be fast.
Me?
What's the fastest? Yes. What's the fastest?
You're allowed to. It's okay.
From right now, if I gave you permission and no
it's all right.
consequences.
Yeah. If I gave you permission,
I'd give you the championship. I give you the championship next week. All
Please
you have
don't.
to do is go there, kill him as fast as you can. How long does that take you?
Yeah. Why this question? Why this question? I know you like all these types of question, but
it's okay. I can take it.
It's not about the time. It's not about the time. But I need to overcome these whatever it is.
The most time would be walking into the room.
Yeah.
It would take you longer to walk out there and hear, you think?
Yeah.
That's the adversity he's facing, Jeremy. It's opening the door.
He said there's a chair in the
There's two
window.
doors.
I agree.
Give him a key.
You also have to account for him running.
New fear unlocked.
He'll catch him. He will catch him.
UFC 327, sir, thank you for being with us. Good luck. And thank you
guys.
for allowing us some insight into your mind. I'm fascinated by guys who choose to do what you do.
Dan,
for
I
a living.
have more questions.
Do
I got
you?
a couple more questions.
Go ahead.
Yuri,
Have at it.
about to be a father for the first time.
Hey, welcome to the
Your
club.
daughter to be born very soon.
Congrats on the sex.
Very soon.
And congrats on all the fear.
You know what it feels like now.
Congrats on all the fear training. Nothing will prepare you for this.
I was gonna say, you spent dark room for what, 3 days, 2 days, no food, no water, just in there focused. Nothing will prepare you for having that daughter in your hands for the first time, being like, I have to make sure that she breathes every single second. Like I just had a daughter. Last year my wife did, but not me. You know how.
Yeah,
you were there.
15
Are you asking
months.
about his kid or just talking
No,
about
I'm
yours?
telling him my experience so he can be ready for his experience, which is in the hospital. I had to sit there and stare at the baby every single second to make sure that she was breathing. So it's like
The rapper?
all these trainings that you do are just outside of Carlos. Forget about Carlos
I
Ulberg this
understand.
weekend.
I understand.
Forget about that. This is the most important fight that you're going to have is you and a 7-pound baby for 6 months.
I understand, man. But right now, no, there is no other things than the.
And Carlos?
Than the mission next week. Yeah.
Okay, taking money line.
Yeah, that I believe that my girlfriend will handle these thing and everything will be all right after a fight. But I have my mission and she have her mission about that. So that's.
So you'll be ready once you get the strap over your, over your shoulder.
You tried.
You're gonna
Look,
go
And Carlos, then baby.
Look, Tony, you tried to tell a charming tapestry of story of how great it is to be a father, and what he's telling you, he's been working all his life for this week.
Yeah,
and nothing
for Carlos
else,
Ulberg.
That nothing else matters other than the baby that makes him fight in the mountains. There is nothing more important than this week in your professional life. Correct?
That's right. That's right. And I just believe that I can do my mission. I can be successful in my mission, and my girlfriend, I believe in her. I believe she can handle all these moments. Right now, she's like in the, the like last 3
At the finish line.
Yeah, in the finish line, and so we are in contact every day, and. We are selling to power each other, so we have our fights.
Thank you, sir. Good luck. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you too. Also.